The Kayfabe Smark Podcast.
Welcome to the Kayfabe Smark Podcast with Eric Todd and Brian Rampa, your Smart Mark source for news and opinions on the world of professional wrestling.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. Today is Friday, July 30th. You are listening to episode 10, Eric. Episode 10.
Episode 10, we made it. We got 10 in so far.
This is the Kayfabe Smark Podcast. I am Brian. With me hanging out as always, Eric. What is going on this momentous 10-episode occasion?
I'm just happy we made it 10 weeks. We're over 2 months. We're getting more and more viewers / listeners every week. We're growing. People are catching on. I'm liking what we're doing, Brian.
All right, having some fun. Make sure you guys get on over to all the social media platforms there. YouTube, putting up clips, questions, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, just trying to stay in the loop. And there, make sure you guys head on over to anchor.fm/the Kayfabe Smark. You can leave us questions. And also head on over to audibletrial.com/the Kayfabe Smark. Grab yourself a 30-day Audible trial. Get yourself a free book. No obligations. You can cancel at any time. You get a free book. We get a little bit of coin in the pocket, and everybody's happy. So
everybody wins.
Everybody wins. So today, taking things a little loose, we got a few things to cover. Talk a little AEW. Talk of some things that happened. The disgust that I had with Raw and the sadness that I had over there. Talk about Adam Cole, some Pat McAfee fun. So we're just going to, some topics, and we're just going to start tearing all those apart. Eric, you got anything to go before we get diving into this?
No, I'm ready to roll. I'm excited to talk about AEW, the Adam Cole, Pat McAfee incident. We got a new voicemail in the inbox for us. So we're going to be cranking it out today, baby.
All right. Well, let's get to the question first. So this comes to us from Athena Moonshine over there on the Instagram. Athena Moonshine. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hey dudes, I was wondering if you could make your own dream match, who would it be between and what kind of match? Ghosts of Wrestlers Past included.
Well, there you go. Dream match, any era, and I believe at the end it sounded like she said,
oh, what kind of match? So maybe she's thinking there might be a ladder match involved or
a gimmick match of some sort.
Or the gimmick-a-rooney. I'm going to go tag team on this one. If we're pulling them out of our ass here, I'm going to go tag team. I'm going mid-80s, Midnight Express, managed by my boy Jim Cornette.
Corny.
And I'm going to pit them against today's best tag team in the entire fucking world, FTR.
FTR, another corny favorite, too. So we've got...
Yeah, how the hell is he going to manage both teams?
Eric's going corny for corny. I'll match you on a tag team thought. Let's go with the Rockers. Not the new Rockers. The Rockers. Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty.
Oh, I was certain you were talking about the new Rockers.
With Marty Jannetty and Al Snow, or Leaf Cassidy, as they call them. The Rockers. Now, these are heyday. We're taking everybody at their peak. The Rockers taking on my boys, the Young Bucks. That is what I am choosing there. I think they would be a lot of high-flying, fun stuff happening there.
That would be a high-flying match for sure. Definitely a lot of energy. I obviously went for a more classic feel. Both of these teams can definitely move. They definitely got the hustle. They can fly if they need to, but just everything's there. The moves are there. The psychology's there. All four guys in this match are ring generals.
Yeah.
And I don't think you get any better than that, Brian.
Not much better. Now, obviously, the big singles match that everybody would be dreaming of as it took storm on the internet a few years ago was Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah. Those are two peas in a pod. And AJ Styles, of course, the leader of TNA for so long. He definitely outgrew that. Thank God he ended up in WWE. Well, fuck, nowadays, I bet he...
Maybe he's not so happy.
Maybe not. He'd probably be doing better in the independents.
You got some classic big men you could put together. You could get a Braun Strowman, well, current big man, Braun Strowman, Big Show in his heyday.
Ooh. Would you rather see Strowman and Big Show or Strowman and Andre the Giant prime?
Really, any of those three, right? You could even say Big Show and Andre, like that was his son, remember? I mean, 1996, we learned that was his son at Bash of the Beach, or 95, whatever it was. Don't quote me.
If we're going Andre and Big Show, I want chunky Big Show. I don't want the giant, skinny Big Show that was in WCW.
Yeah, the one that fell off the roof in Kobo. Kobo. The big one, yeah. Those would be some fun dream matches to put together. If you guys got any dream matches of yourselves, make sure you post them on our Facebook or Twitter. Or not Twitter, I'm sorry. Facebook, Instagram. Just tag us in those and let's get a conversation going about some fun fantasy matches. We got FTR taking on, what was your other one there, Eric? I'm sorry.
The Midnight Express.
Midnight Express. I wanted to say Rock and Roll Express, and I knew I was wrong. You could throw them in there, too. You could have a three-way tag team trio. I got the Rockers and the Young Bucks, any of the Big Show, Braun Strowman, Andre, and then also AJ and Shawn. That'd be just a heck of a card you could throw together right there.
Fuck, if we're throwing together a whole ass card, we got to throw everybody. I think everybody wanted to see Prime Sting versus Prime Undertaker. I think that's going to headline the show.
Yeah, that was one that everybody was dreaming of for years. I guess it never really crossed my mind in that time frame, but now that you lay it out, like, sure, it'd be fun, I think. Especially like the Crow Sting, not Surfer Sting with the with the blonde spiky hair and wearing his like band conductor uniform, his marching band uniform.
No, we're definitely going to go with Crow Sting with the Juggalo face paint.
All right. Well, enough fun. We could fantasy book this thing until the cows come home. But
yes, thank you for the question, Athena. Feel free to hop on and leave us another one. Feel free to respond on Instagram and let us know what you thought of our picks and tell us what your fantasy match is.
What are your fantasy matches? All right. So once again, you can hop over on anchor.fm. You can leave a voicemail, question, comments, concerns, derogatory comments, maybe a joke, anything along those lines. We'll get it on here. We'll play it. We'll talk about it. But now it's time to get into a little bit of the meat and potatoes. We're going to tear apart a little AEW tonight and then talk about some WWE with Adam Cole and such. So you want to kick it off there, Mr. E-Rock?
Yes, I do. I watched AEW Dynamite. I did not get a chance to watch NXT, so maybe I'll hear a couple highlights from you and I can put my 2 cents in. But I've got the meat and potatoes on AEW this week.
Go for it. Kick us off.
All right, so we started off with a real doozy over here on AEW. We started with the entire ass and inner circle versus Chuck Taylor and Trent, the best friends, Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed, and Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, Jurassic Express. Why the hell are we starting out with a 10-man tag team match? We're just gaga right off the bat.
I was not happy myself to hear when they announced that it was a 10-man tag team. I thought that it was going to be too much going on at one time, and it was. But I even want to take a step back. I believe they kicked off with that little promo for a half second. Was that in there somewhere? Jericho coming out, and he was yakking about his jacket and how he had orange juice on his jacket still. That wherever that fell, was that here or am I ahead of myself?
Shit, I didn't write about it because it was kind of quick. Yeah, it was before this.
Only thing that made me mad about it is that Jericho's talked about how rich and famous he is on AEW.
Right.
I love Chris Jericho.
Same.
I waited 6 hours in front of a Harmony House for his autograph when I was in 11th grade.
I went to Flint, Michigan to watch him sing a rock and roll song.
Yes, we did. Also, we got to hear Judas live before it was the phenomenon it is. But I'm a Jericho mark. I love Jericho, but he's expressed about how he is the demo god, how he is rich and powerful, and how he is this man, and he's still wearing a jacket from 2 weeks ago stained with orange juice and complaining about it.
It cost $7,000, Brian.
But it's just stupid. That part was dumb. It's like it's overplayed. The one night that you ruin the clothes, sure. But to keep wearing it and talking about it and saying it smells like cat pee, it didn't make any sense.
It's all overacting, and Jericho's just hopping right on the fucking playtime train with everybody else on this goddamn show. So Jericho just rides the wave, man. And the people who tune in every single week for this, not the flipper floppers that hop back and forth between NXT and AEW, but the 600,000 people or so who are diehard AEW fans, Jericho's all in with them, and he just wants to keep riding this wave and do what he can do to make them happy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That part bugged me. And then it led off with a 10-man match, which then that bugged me again. So I wasn't happy about any of that.
Well, I was irritated right off the bat with this 10-man match because, A, it is what it is, but B, the two most professional men in the ring are Jericho and Hager, and they're on the same team. So we're not going to see them two go at it. But we do start off with Hager and Pockets, Orange Cassidy.
Pockets.
And to my dismay, Jake Hager is just playing right along with the pocket stick. Cassidy keeps his hands in his pockets, even when Hager is picking them up, throwing them in the corner, getting ready to do some sort of slam. Orange Cassidy just keeps his hands in his pockets the entire time. And I know I should just get used to Orange Cassidy's stupid gimmick by now, but I just can't. He just shoves it down your throat that there's no danger whatsoever. Hager's not going to hurt him. There's no threat whatsoever. He just lets us all know that by keeping his hands in his pockets because he just knows he's not going to get hurt. Nobody's getting beat up in this match.
I thought that they should have used more. I've defended Orange Cassidy. I've defended the gimmick.
You've defended the fuck out of it. We got into a huge debate one week.
Go back and listen into the archives. But I think that they should have used, you've got Jake Hager. I don't know. You've got Jake. Like, use his power. He is a pro MMA fighter, right? Don't oversell it. Like, Kofi Kingston is great, but when they put him against Brock Lesnar in Japan that time on the 4th of July, he just squashed him in like 9 seconds.
Right.
I'm not saying he should have came out and squashed him, but you had 10 guys in there to work the angle with, and you could have made it. And Jake doesn't play well with that, so he was just waiting for the setups. It was a lot of like, stand here, hit your mark, I'm going to jump to you, catch me. You know what I'm saying? If you can work well with it and it can gel, I'll flow with it. I'll buy it. But I wasn't buying it because it was very clunky.
Yeah.
In any sense.
Hager and Cassidy was, that whole beginning was clunky as hell. There is one point where Jake Hager's just holding freshly squeezed in the air for it felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
Until Orange weaseled his way out of it. But we're not even a minute into this match yet. Because goddamn near the 1 minute mark, it's just pure chaos. Everybody is in the ring. I believe it's Ref Aubrey, and she's not doing a goddamn thing about anything. The commentators try and justify it by saying, no, this is what people want to see. You know, they want to see chaos. And just boom, 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 one after the other. We get 6 consecutive, not 1, not 2, not 3, 6 consecutive catch me outside spots.
We did, and both expressed
Mm.
on how much we hate that. I hate them, and I'm a new fan, Mark, right? But I hate the catch me spots if they're done in that catch me way.
I liked them when I very first started seeing them, but they just immediately they took what people popped for them at first,
Right.
and they took it and they're just like, oh fuck, we gotta do 15 of them in every match now.
If you can do a Randy Orton style out of nowhere as he hits the RKO, if you can give me an out of nowhere catch me spot, I bow to you. I'll pop. I'll buy it all day. And out of nowhere, not a let's stand here with the guys we're fighting and put our arms around each other. Just have the cameraman not shoot that part then.
And just the cherry on top of this particular shit Sunday was Marco Cunt again, because he's not even in the match.
No.
This isn't an 11 man tag match.
A
Marco
10 and a half
Cunt
man.
he's the mascot, and this is how the 6 catch me spots end. They end with Marco Stunt running around screaming like he fucking did something. All he did was perform as a human cannonball and get thrown around a few times.
Yeah.
By Dushasaurus,
By Luchasaurus and Jake were playing catch with him. It was so slow and clunky. There was no flow to it. I pretty much hated every second of this 10-man tag.
But I had seen something earlier in the week, and it kind of had left my mind, but just seeing this endless string of horse shit just reminded me what I saw. I saw it on Reddit earlier this week. I was on the Squared Circle subreddit, and I saw a video of one of the performers that was involved in this match. That would be Chuck Taylor from the Best Friends. I saw a video of him giving an atomic drop to some fellow named Kadana and Chikara Wrestling. Are you familiar with this clip, or
I
are
have
you familiar with an atomic drop spot that I would fucking hate?
I have seen this spot, this video float around the old inner tubes. I think this was around the same time as Joey Ryan's dick flip kind of got famous and got over, maybe somewhere after that or whatever. But yes, I have. I believe I've seen the spot, but please explain.
Indulge you?
Yes.
It would be my pleasure, like we're at Chick-fil-A. So Chuck Taylor pulls out an invisible grenade, holds it in the air to make sure the whole audience sees the invisible grenade. He pulls the back of Kodana's trunks out and drops the grenade in, and the commentators sell it because I guess that's their job. That's what they're getting paid to do. There's a live grenade in that man's trunks.
Yeah, now mind you, people, there's nothing in his hand.
Nothing.
It is purely invisible, and he is acting this out.
Kodana goes into a fucking full-on panic attack, and then Schmuck Taylor there gives him an atomic drop. And do you know what happens, Brian, when Schmuck Taylor gives him the atomic drop?
Well, anything atomic and grenades, that's going to be deadly.
We get a fucking Sharknado-esque explosion on the screen. It's a graphic. There was no explosions. There was no firecrackers rigged up. We get a fucking CGI cheap-ass explosion, and all 7 people involved in this match, that's the referee included, just go flying like a goddamn bomb went off. And I only tell you at this moment because it just makes me lose hope that there will ever be believable wrestling on TV ever again.
This goes for either brand, right?
I read the comments on this shit, and I was just hoping somebody would be shitting on it. But almost every single person...
Nothing but love.
...was in favor of it. Yeah, nothing but love. Like, I guess this is what people want now, and what I've kind of divulged from that is that at least the majority of the people who still want or still watch wrestling, this is what they want, because the fans, like myself, who want a believable match that they can lose themselves in, they've seen enough of this shit and they've taken off. They've gone in another direction. They've stopped watching, and I don't think they're coming back, because if they if they give wrestling another chance and this is what they see, it's over. They're not going to get involved again.
Now there was, yeah, something else. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
I just want to read a couple of comments.
Oh,
May
feel
I?
free, please, please,
May
please.
I read a few of these comments?
Internet comments.
One user asked, "Why doesn't this seem out of place in a wrestling match? That was kind of cool." And of course, he got a reply saying, "That's because believability is all about the art of selling. When everybody is down for some nonsense, that nonsense works. How does this bullshit nonsense work? The grenade's invisible. The explosion is obviously cheesy, done on purpose. All it accomplishes is shoving it in your face that these guys are all just buddies. They're all playing cartoon wrestler together. It's fucky fuck playtime on the trampoline." I get that as a non-fan, us watching a staged fight is kind of stupid. But now we're just watching grown men. At this point, we're just watching grown men play around in their panties. And another user wrote or commented, "I want this spot to become the new super kick / Canadian destroyer. They want to see this spot in almost every single match on TV."
So here's how. I'm not going to defend it, but I'm going to just play some devil's advocate for you.
All right, go for
'Cause
it.
I can't defend it.
I want to
Okay.
hear this.
I can't defend it. But so I forget who it is. I am not a football fan. I just don't know the details, but I remember some of the pop culture stuff that comes up. And there was a celebration thing where they would bite the football, throw it in the air, and then, for a touchdown celebration, like it was a grenade, pulling the pin out, and then him and his team would hit the ground and do in for a celebration. So I remember so there is a slight steal of that from pop culture. I played hockey back in my day. We would do some of that too, throw the glove in the air, explode on the ground, but it was a celebration thing. So they are stealing a little bit of that. He was taking that moment from pop culture, maybe, but the part that makes it unbelievable, right, is that it involved the other team and involved the referee.
Right.
So,
I get where you're coming from. If they just did it for their own team, then, it's a funny bit. They're joking around during the match, that almost like an Orange Cassidy thing where they're not taking it seriously and whatever, maybe the other team is.
right. And in my thought, like, they could do it that way, and so I could get over. So I think I could get you over on this spot if I was to put it together, where it would be these guys doing the moves, but they're so good that they can take this moment and they're cocky, but they're really putting a good move set together, right?
Right.
They're selling it. And then you get this atomic drop, and then him and, the other two guys jump off the thing. But the ref doesn't get involved. The other team doesn't get involved. And that would make it look like them being cocky and we're so good. I could see the outsiders, the Wolf Pack, with Six and Hall and Nash in WCW when they were ruling that running roughshot, or DX, where Shawn was to do a super kick where Triple H would jump. You know what I'm saying? Where he could sell the move on that. But that's the only way I can put this together. They did not do it that way.
No. In this
But I think
particular instance,
with some
the other
tweaks-
team jumped. Kodana or whatever panicked. The referee exploded.
Like if they used it as a tuning up the band, Shawn stomping his foot.
Right. I could
Like,
see that.
They're gonna
I
sell
wouldn't
you,
love
but
it,
he's gonna
but
get
I could
this
see it.
awesome atomic drop. Like he's mastered the atomic drop, right? He's studied
Right.
it for years. We're off on a wild tangent here, but I think that's the only way you can get that thing over for me. And otherwise, it's just goofy. It's funny. It makes for an internet viral video.
Right. But it also shows you that all these guys are working together, referee included, and it's just fucking playtime in the sandbox.
So when in a previous life, I hosted another wrestling podcast with another gentleman, and we were interviewing Mikey Whipwrecker. Actually, Mikey used to come on our show all the time and do a post pay-per-view wrap-up. So I had this connection with Mikey Whipwreck from ECW, and he would always say, why do they got to shove it down our fucking throats that this is fake? He would so pissed all the time. He would scream, why do they got to tell us every night on Raw that this is the longest running episodic TV? We know. He's like, quit saying it. He goes, when you turn on The Walking Dead, the first thing they don't tell you is the zombies are fake and this shit ain't real. Like, you want to sit back and, suspend disbelief and have some fun.
Right. And this just shoves it down your throat. We're all buddies.
Yeah.
Be jerking each other off in the hotel room after this. We're going to come over and eat the toast.
So I agree with you. I'm not defending it. I was just trying to play a little devil's advocate of how we could have made it better.
And I see that. But in this Reddit thread, there was a glimmer of hope. There was a little slight crack of light at the very, very bottom of the post because they got downvoted to hell. We had Exploring Elliot, who said, this is why the wrestling business is dying. This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Kudos to you there, Exploring Elliot. And then we had a fellow named Infamous Resolve who said, fucking stupid, Cornette is right. And you guys are the real MVPs for saying this, taking your downvotes like men and trooping on and fighting the good fight, my boys.
Fighting the good fight and the wrestling subreddit. So I don't know. Let us know what you guys think if you want to pop on to our Instagrams and Facebooks and all that fun stuff, and leave some comments on the YouTube here. Comments. I can be a real YouTuber now. Comment below in the link in the description. We can
Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time we post a video.
Ding. If that's a sound clip, if that's a clip for our YouTube channel, don't be surprised.
We're still in this bullshit match, by the way. We haven't finished the first match of the night. So I'm sorry I got sidetracked.
It was so boring. We might as well go on a tangent of something else. So they throw Marco Stunt around, and then I remember what's his name there, Sammy Guevara coming back for his first in-ring match after being suspended. He dives in between the five of them and gets kind of jumped.
Yeah, and pretty much, I don't know. I lost my place at this. I did a little fast forwarding. I was just kind of irritated. But
the drizzling shits.
Jake Hager is actually, besides the shit he did with OC there at the beginning, he's doing a decent job of some believable wrestling. He eventually gets into it with Luchasaurus, and then Luchasaurus's fucking mask falls off. And excuse me, he's treating it like he's a goddamn, like a luchador for real. Like, nobody gives a fuck if you see Dino Douche's face.
Dino Douche.
And this isn't a work. This motherfucker is scared that his fucking mask is going to fall off. Nobody cares if your mask falls off. The same way nobody cares if that fucking commentator guy, what's that guy's name?
Excalibur.
Yeah, exactly. Excalibur. Nobody cares if his mask comes off. And so it's just, I don't know. While he's putting his mask on, we're right back to just every man in the fucking match just running full speed, taking turns doing spots. We do get a decent exchange between Sammy Guevara and Luchasaurus. And then all of a sudden, nobody knew this was happening except for the sound guy. Apparently, he was in on it. But Matthew Hardy shows up. He went ahead and
I never even looked at it from that angle. Like, I watched it last night and I was whatever, and I was still like, oh, all right, that was weird. And then you say the sound guy was in on it.
Sound guy was in on it, man. Matthew Hardy sent him a text. He said, hey, man, I'm about to go out, play my music. And then he came out and fucking saved the day. He pushes Sammy Guevara off the top rope. Luchasaurus choke slams him. 1, 2, 3. It's a rapidy rap on that train wreck.
Funny that you say it that way, because he didn't come out from the aisleway, right, from the tunnels. So he came out from the crowd, so he had to have told somebody.
He had to have texted the sound guy, man, because his music and video just started blasting.
I don't know why I found that so funny. Because, like, when they're backstage, right, you can imagine them running from the locker room, like, hit my music, I'm getting out there, I'm going to take care of business. And you hear the quick music turn on and whatever, and
Yeah, you can kind of
you can
suspend
envision a
it from
panic.
that point.
There's a guy hitting buttons and turning
Right.
things up. You'll buy it, but he came out from across the goddamn arena, and some guy's like, "I should hit his music. This is a good time."
Nobody knew it was coming, though. It was a complete surprise to everybody in the building,
I don't know
except
why
for fucking Bill in the sound truck.
I don't know why that made me laugh so much. Just thinking of it like in literal terms. You just see him back. I gotta get out there. Oh, sorry.
Did you have anything else on that match?
No, it
Because
sucked.
I'm ready for a little fucking. I'm ready for a little whiskey. Yeah, hated it.
Hated it.
I forgot about your soundboard. It's been fucking 7 days since we've chatted about wrestling.
Oh, shit.
But we did get a little glimmer of hope with our next match here with Warhorse and Cody for the TNT Championship.
Yeah, I didn't know
And-
shit about this Warhorse character.
Well, that's how I started. I've never heard of Warhorse. I just know that after seeing him and after hearing him be announced at weighing 4,000 pounds of heavy metal, to me, he just screams flea market parking lot wrestler 100%. Every fucking bit of him. But I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, like the gimmick is
Oh.
a little 1980s nostalgia throwback, but
Oh man, but this was a great match. It might have been the show stealer besides Maxwell that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But this was a great match. Cody is usually good for a good match anyway, but Warhorse is just keeping up with him. He's working with him very well. And besides his Ultimate Warrior mannerisms, which he's lifted a lot of his mannerisms from Ultimate Warrior.
I'd almost say even from the Dingo Warrior before the Ultimate Warrior.
This guy's a dingo all the way, man. This guy's more talented than probably over half of the locker room back there, half of the bench warmers that are hanging out in the AEW locker room. But other than that, there's not much I can complain about this match besides they do a high spot superplex, but they choose to do it during the picture-in-picture break.
All right. Well, you were on my spot. The comment I was going to have going, that was a pretty sweet superplex, and they left it for the picture-in-picture. Maybe they left it on purpose as to getting the people to not tune away that big things still will happen even though it's in picture-in-picture. That was the only thing that if they put any thought into it, but I don't know, or if it just happened.
I can agree with you on that because they did do an instant replay because I did fast forward through the picture-in-picture. And they showed it again. So maybe it's kind of a way of letting the audience know,
Look,
don't
man,
fast forward through the picture-in-picture next time. You might miss something.
and they're really pushing that kind of on that topic just for a second. They're really pushing that mystery hashtag thing to keep your eye out on. And they're pick 30 people to have a Zoom interview with Jericho one week, or they're going to win T-shirts if you had tweeted out with that hashtag. So they really want people watching during the commercials so they're not flipping channels. You know.
Right. Yeah. The secret hashtag thing is they push the hell out of that. But Warhorse pays homage to the Macho Man Randy Savage. You see that elbow drop?
That was a killer elbow drop.
Everything. He had it down pat to the finger point.
And then
not Kenny Olivier style. We're talking Macho Man style.
Like flying through and like the way that he brings the elbow through and then like gets set in the air.
He hit it just perfectly. Right on. Hit that Macho Man elbow. It's like the legend himself fucking crawl out from his grave.
That was a money elbow. There ain't no question there. I was impressed with this guy. I don't know if they'll give him a ticket to hang out and keep playing, but
I hope so. They gave Pineapple Pete a ticket to hang out for a while.
Brian Pillman Jr. was in the crowd last night. So
yeah, who knows? Maybe Warhorse. I might watch Dark if this motherfucker's on there.
Yeah.
But these two put on an awesome match for a couple more minutes, and Cody ends up tapping Warhorse out with a figure four, and that was a surprise. That popped me.
And then they had him save Cody, or for a half second save Cody when he shoved him he shoved him out of the way and started to attack the Dork Order.
Oh yeah, a couple of the schlubs from the Dark Order, or I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Dork Order came out to ruin things, and they got interrupted by you know who, Brian? Do you know who interrupted the Dork Order?
FTR?
No, not FTR. We're talking Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm ahead of spot. I'm getting confused in my notes here.
Oh, I thought you were working the crowd. You fuck.
No, I got confused. I
You
should have
just
kept working with
botched
it. I did.
But
I was
anyway,
confused in my spots. I got my notes mixed up over here.
the Dork Order gets interrupted by Matt Cardona.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Also known as Zack Ryder from WWE, and he
From
looks
Strong
fucking
Island.
great, man. From Strong Island, he looks fantastic. He disposes of these fucking Dork Order dummies, embraces Cody before they go back to commercial, and that was a nice save to instead of seeing the schlubs from Dork Order. I was happy to end that spot and go into commercial, seeing Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo.
Woo woo woo. I thought I would have liked if they would have hit it just a little differently with a little more power, a little more surprise to it, but I was still happy that he was there, and it appears he's going to be sticking around a while as the Instagrams and such have considered. They've made the meme pages, or not the meme pages, but they've made some cards and such that are going around, that he's all elite. He's here. So I think he's got an in-ring match next week, I believe, already announced.
Yeah, he's teaming with Cody. I forget against who, but he'll be teaming up with Cody Rhodes. That'll be a good reason to tune in. Right here, I did find in my spot in my notes, is the spot you were speaking of was the Inner Circle promo. Or was this another one? Did they come out and cut another promo? Because I've got this one as them announcing Jericho versus Orange Cassidy 2 on August 12th.
Yeah, that debate thing they're going to do.
Well, the debate's next week.
Oh, and then the match is the 12th.
The match will be August 12th, and I thought that was nice of them to warn us. That way I can make sure to watch NXT that week.
To make sure you know the fast forward button's working, warm it up,
Right.
get it stretched out.
But then Tony Khan and AEW decided to play with my emotions there, and we get to watch FTR finally sign their contract. They're at a official ass table going over the details.
They're in the official ass room with an official ass table with an official ass pen.
And they will be hosting a tag team appreciation night also on August 12th. So
They went.
I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I wanted to skip it. But
skip the Orange Cassidy and Jericho too. I thought it was cool. We'll talk about that contract signing thing for a moment. I thought it was cool that they did the how they were talking about like the stipulations, like you have to use the tag rope in an FTR match.
right.
It's a 10-second count, and then like they kind of got their own
like,
little.
our matches only. You guys can play bullshit fucking puppy bowl whenever the hell you. What happened to that puppy wrestling match?
You know what? I thought about that like last week or whatever. I don't know if it was during a commercial or if I missed it in the fast forward situation. But you're right. I never saw that puppy bullshit.
Wow, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to fucking get derailed. I was just looking for adjectives for for horse shit.
But yes, I thought it was cool. And then the weird part was Arn was a little weird. It felt having Arn was in there when he came in. It just didn't make sense to me. It was a little strange.
Well, just I think because FTR is Arn and Tully.
Well, yes, but
so they kind of want to.
What I'm getting at is
shoehorn that in there.
His acting was bad.
Oh yeah. And then, Arn wasn't a fucking.
No, an Academy Award winner here.
No, he wasn't fucking Tony Robbins or no. I don't fucking know.
Right, he was not $8 million inspirational speaker.
He didn't inspire me one bit, and I'm fucking rolling with it.
I guess he was in Shallow Hell, Tony Robbins. So he wasn't even as good as that. But yes. Yeah. Anyways, and then you get Hangman coming in, pouring shots, and pouring himself like a fucking 2 cups of some cheap whiskey.
A fucking pitcher of whiskey. FTR makes sure they fucking let you know it's cheap whiskey.
Yeah. So that was so that's good. They're all official now, at least as of TV. I don't know if I'm sure it probably happened sometime earlier, behind the scenes, but nonetheless, all official on TV that they are all elite. All elite. So now you got that. You got Zack Ryder joining us as Matt Cardona, is his real name there. So pretty cool stuff. A lot of people bitching on the internet saying, oh, just a WWE retirement zone or bullshit, pick up the dead weight. And it's these guys just want to work, man.
The long and short of it is these guys are professionals who know how to work. And if you want a full-on indie show, go over to Ring of Honor.
Right.
AEW did pluck a ton of indie guys, and they wanted to be the alternative. But we're all learning, you can't deny it, that half of these indie guys can't fucking work.
Well, they're figuring it out how to do it on TV. Is a different show, right? You got to work the cameras and all that stuff. I'm sure it's completely different that they're throwing these guys into. But when you got a talent like Zack Ryder that was being wasted on WWE TV, or
well, TV is a whole new ball game, because you got to think from these indie guys' perspective. They were taking matches anywhere they could get them. They would be at a flea market one week and then drive 100 miles to a high school the next week. There's no running storylines. There's no rivalries. All they want to do is put on a show and get noticed. Well, they're on TV now. You got to go a little deeper. You can't just put on a show to get noticed and with nothing behind it. Well, the way to fix that is you throw some WWE guys who've been working and know how to work TV, and you don't fill the whole roster with them, but you get a few of them in there to inspire these guys and to show them how it's done. It was a necessary evil.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? And plus, he's good. He's entertaining.
He is good, and that's why I still remember Woo Woo Woo.
Yeah, right. So there you go. What do we got next on the docket here as we're running down?
We've got the Dork Order. We got Pizzeria Uno and Stu Grayson versus Kenny Omega and Adam Page for the tag team championships.
Now, I know you are not a Dark Order fan.
No.
But can you not deny that these two goons were working pretty well together, like a well-oiled machine? Their moves, their tags, they knew where each other was going to be. You could tell this wasn't the first time for the two Dark Order guys to be in the ring together, right? They've been doing the indie scene, Smash Brothers or whatever they were 100 years ago. Now they're doing this Dark Order thing. They look like a tag team.
I don't like the gimmick. I don't.
But they would. But that tag team was moving good on Wednesday night.
And it's in my notes. Yeah, it's like you peeked in on them. I don't like the gimmick. I don't like Pizzeria Uno's personality at all. He's a fucking void of charisma. He sucks it out of the room. But I want to know, how did these two fucking dickheads get the number one ranking for the tag team, championship? I haven't seen Pizzeria Uno in a fucking ring in God knows how long.
Yeah, I think
the only thing I can
that
think
up
of is it's the Freebird rules, I guess.
Oh, like anything Dark Order tag team oriented, they're just the Dark Order. They're not the Dark Order, but the Dark Order itself. Any tag team from the Dark Order gets the ranking.
Yeah, feel free to correct me, but I don't remember seeing Evil Uno in any matches anytime recently that would put him and Stu Grayson as the number one contenders. Brody Lee's been wrestling almost every Dark Order match.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's his Pizzeria Uno there was off stuck in wherever during COVID. Like he bailed, so he didn't do anything for the longest time during quarantine COVID high times.
But yeah, that's just where the confusion was with me. And apparently these two dickheads are the number one contenders. And that this match brings us right into the 9 o'clock hour. And we come back from commercial break at 9 o'clock with Evil Uno trying to submit Adam Page. And the wrestling in this match is good.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good tag team match. To me, it made the Dark Order kind of made Kenny and Hangman showed that they're not a tag team, that they're two guys working together, and the other guys were a tag team.
Oh, Stu and Pizzeria, man. Them two, just like you said earlier, they were a well-oiled machine. And Brody Lee's the leader of this fucking clown show. But Stu Grayson and fucking Evil Uno made Brody Lee look rough, man. When Brody Lee is working with a professional like Colt Cabana, they still just don't have the chemistry, I guess.
Right. There's a
that
tag
Stu
team
Grayson
chemistry.
and Uno have. And this did not turn me into a Dark Order fan. The gimmick's still retarded. There's still no charisma there. I don't give a shit. They couldn't recruit me if I was fucking homeless and had AIDS. They couldn't bring me into their fucking group. Not even if Tony Robbins was leading the goddamn crew.
Tony Robbins, none of them.
But Evil Uno just looks like 300 pounds of fucking cow shit crammed into a hefty cinch sack. And there's nothing exciting about him, but he wrestled his ass off in this match.
Yeah, that they, and say it again for the fifth time. They just worked well together. Each guy was in the spot they needed to be. They looked like it was like, wow, these guys belong together. They've been together. They need to work together. This is what's going to help get the Dark Order over. Is good wrestling.
I mean, the biggest botch goes to the production truck, because did you see that Irish whip that Kenny Omega gave Stu Grayson?
Oh yeah.
He Irish whipped Stu Grayson into the corner. Stu Grayson clearly on purpose misses the corner and dives over the ropes, and we don't get to see what happens because the camera angle we see is just on top of the ring post. We don't see what happens outside of the ring, and none of the commentators even mention what happens outside of the ring. It's just a fucking mystery where he went, who he landed on. If he just landed on a crash pad, who fucking knows?
Yeah, that was wacky. That felt crammed in there. I don't know if it was a weird spot they were trying to just work in to work those ring post cameras or where they were going with that, but it was at least had the commentator. Oh my God, you got JR there. Just reach into the old hat, JR, the hat of gimmicks, and just go back. He's got to be broken in half. Like, come on.
Right, just pull something. Yeah, just play along with it at least. But I was pleasantly surprised with this match. At this point, I'm still giving Warhorse and Cody the match of the night. But I was pleasantly surprised. Kenny Omega, Adam Page retained the championship, and that pissed Brody Lee the fuck off. He was one angry fucker, wasn't he?
He even told Colt Cabana to go to the back.
Yeah, and you don't boss around, boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
But now the best sell of the night, if we're going back to the Atomic Drop days, is when fucking Brody Lee hits Pizzeria Uno with a stack of papers, and Evil Uno sells the living shit out of it. He was writhing on the ground like he was fucking caught the Holy Ghost, and he's holding his face for about 10 minutes. Brody Lee hit him with less papers than my fucking notes here, and this is fucking 70-pound a fucking ream paper here. But I don't know if AEW is working on that budget that we got over here. But Brody hit Pizza with a stack of paper. Pizza sold the shit out of it, held his head like he had a migraine, and just what the fuck was going on with that? The way to kill that match with a stupid ending.
Yeah. It was and then isn't this where the Bucks came out? And the Bucks worked their way up from the side of the ring there. And then when they're like that Dark Order. Isn't this
I don't know. I didn't take notes on that.
Oh,
I remember seeing the Bucks a couple times with their Buck masks on.
They came into the ring because then the Hangman was laughing.
Oh yeah, I do remember that now.
Remember Hangman's laughing, and then the Bucks came in. Oh, you want your friends? And then the Bucks came down, and then a bunch of the.
That's right.
A bunch of those stupid Dark Order minions
surrounded the ring.
Even worse than 10 that only has a number. These guys don't even have a name. They're just local indie guys that get a mask slapped on them. And then there was just a super kick party. And
FTR ended up saving the day.
This is my FTR confusion spot.
Yeah, FTR comes down, hits Brody Lee with a styrofoam cooler,
Right.
which busted Brody Lee wide open and saved the day. Dark Order scatter like roaches in the night, and that takes us into the next barn
Yes.
burner.
That was where I got my FTR confusion, Zack Ryder interferences. My brain got twisted. I knew there was
You
two
guys-
run-ins.
You got to start taking more detailed notes, Brian.
Yes.
But our next match, definitely not a contender for match of the night, was Hikaru Shida, the champion, versus Diamante or Diamudi, I don't know, but some
Yeah.
chick who, independent chick who's won a couple matches on Dark, and now she wants a match against Shida, and she thinks she deserves it, and she was a wrestler for 9 years, and she's got a baby belly and whatever the fuck. Anyway, I watched about 90 seconds, decided this is just a normal girls match, and I hit the fast forward button. So if you caught anything cool, let me know.
Yeah. I didn't catch anything cool. I played Mario Maker 2 during this part on my Switch. I had it in handheld mode, and I just bought it yesterday, so I thought I'd play my game for a minute.
What a couple of chauvinistic pigs. Fast forwarding through a women's match. How could we?
How will you never know the struggles, Eric?
You've never been in a women's match, Brian. You don't know what it's like.
You don't know what it's like. You can't judge it.
Joey Ryan. Now, Joey Ryan has been in a fucking women's match.
Oh, God. We'll talk about Joey Ryan another day. Did you see his creepy
58 minutes
apology?
58 minutes of it in a
Shaved his
dirty
mustache.
kitchen. Yeah. What a fucking mark.
Fuck.
But
Right,
anyway,
yes, no, that match happened, and what are you gonna do?
and then they saved it. They saved it with Maxwell J. Friedman, MJF.
Yes.
He's walking down the hallway. He's a man of importance.
This made me put down the Switch and watch.
Yeah, and good thing you did, or you would have missed fucking promo of the year right here. He's on his way down to the ring to issue the State of the Industry address. Right off the bat, he's calling the fans marks. He's making chauvinistic heel remarks to his little assistant, telling her to smile and look pretty or whatever. He just right off the bat, MJF is hitting on all cylinders.
I love how he goes talking about how he is AEW, how I am black, gold, and silver, and he was going just really taking the brand, which is something you haven't seen from him before, about being proud. You know what I'm saying? That different kind of angle to his character of being proud of AEW. You almost thought that he just hated it.
Right. He always just kind of put it out there that he was too good to be there, but now he's saying he bleeds black, white, and gold. He is AEW, and he's going to carry the brand on his back for the next 25 years.
Because he's not my champion.
But he calls the other wrestlers, especially the ones in the audience, refers to them as bench warmers, just classic heel. He puts it out there that he's never on TV 2 weeks in a row, and that's a huge complaint from a lot of people. Us, yeah, Cornette, fucking, and anybody who knows that an MJF spot brings people in, and it's always the most entertaining part of the night. We never see him 2 weeks in a row, and he blames that on. Did he blame that on Cody or Mox?
Mox. Everything was on Mox.
Oh, okay.
Because Mox comes from the land of Titans.
Yeah, I got that right here. He compares Mox to Hulk Hogan.
Brother.
Coming from the land of Titans and just running everything because he's a former WWF or WWE guy. And this was thank God for MJF. We're not worthy of MJF at this point when he says nobody fucking wrestles anymore. They just flips and flies and almost dies. Just so the viewers can watch a gymnastics routine. And I've been saying the term gymnastics routine for the past 10 weeks.
When I heard him say about the match and the flips and flies
and almost dies,
and then when he used the term gymnastics routine, I said,
I said he's a listener. He
It's
listens
a-
to it. It's
he
a
listens.
wrap.
Officially, we can announce that MJF is a listener of the Kayfabe Smark Pod. We can say that. He has used our terminology. No, but it was it's been dead on. So either he went and read the internet and said, let me take what everybody hates about us and tear it apart, or he listens to Jim Cornette podcast, or somebody backstage is smart, but I'm going to give more of this to MJF.
Well, he did pluck a little something from Cornette, because Cornette has been, at least the past few weeks, he has been calling Mox out for his Stone Cold Steve Austin cosplay. He's just saying he's a cheap ripoff of Stone Cold. And MJF even pulls that card and compares Mox to a Stone Cold Steve Austin cosplay. And holy shit, I'm sure that opened some eyes around the globe there.
Yeah, I was excited for John Moxley to be there and to see what could happen, but I'm going to be honest with you, I've probably been more disappointed than happy.
Yeah, and I just think Tony Khan clearly it's a work, it's part of the show, but I think Tony Khan needs to pay attention here and put this company on MJF's back. He needs to carry it for a while.
25 years, he's saying. 25 years. And I think maybe he's poking fun at Cody there, because Cody says he's only wrestling for another 5.
Okay.
He's
I
made
can
that
see that.
public on the internet there, or at least the rumors. Don't quote me that he's officially said it, but the rumors that he's released that statement, that he's only wrestling for another 5 years. So maybe there's something there on the poke of the fun with the 25, but nonetheless, he is here. He is MJF. He's the man. He can cut a promo, and I hope that this is everything I hope it to be.
It's going to be amazing if Tony Khan and the vice president squad let him run with it. But
I would just like to see lots of these promos leading up to this. Like,
oh yeah, they need to keep this rolling, and they need to milk it for everything they can.
There's lots of content here. There's lots of stuff that can be done. You can get into it this could be online promos. I mean, he's on YouTube channel. He's doing whatever on their Instagram, going live. However you want to do it, he needs to turn into a full-on campaign. Not my president. Not my president, run with that. Not my president.
Not my champion.
Not my champion. Just kind of run with that like it's going in real life politics. Those are things that were always great in wrestling, is when they mirrored reality, right? Hogan and Slaughter, Iraq, America, like that thing, that was going on in the world, and it was that same thing kind of being mirrored in professional wrestling. And anytime they've taken those little things, either that from the news or pop culture, and work them in as they're being, in this parallel running world, if you will, has always worked good. So run with this not my champion thing. It could be really cool.
Definitely. But definitely. AEW still playing with my emotions, bouncing me up, bouncing me down after that fucking disaster we saw of a 10-man match. They announced next week they're going to top that with a 12-man tag team match. We're going to see the entire Dork Order, I guess there's like 28 guys in the Dork Order.
12.
The main guys from the Dork Order alongside Colt Cabana versus FTR, the Young Fucks, Kenny Omega, and Adam Page. And this promises to be, you got some real performers in there, but a 12-man tag, it's going to be gaga all the way.
Now, the things that I liked about last week's show, that they actually dubbed the matches what they were. This is a Falls Count Anywhere. This is a no rules match. They actually said it, so when it happened, you weren't surprised. And those were things that I enjoyed. That were some pretty high points of last week for me. And then they had that little corny shot there last week too, with the mud show thing up in the
up in the truck,
back of the truck. So that was funny to me. But last week they did that. So this week they didn't do that as much. There was more gaga and just running by the seat of your pants feel to it. I don't care if it's a crazy match. ECW was a nut show to watch every week, and all their pay-per-views, and the guys all over the ring, and 3 matches happen in one segment, but that was what you expected. You knew the rules of that organization, right? What ECW was going to offer. But AEW will be John Moxley can be outside the ring for 40 minutes, throw guys through 9 tables, get back in the ring, hit a DDT, and win the match.
Right.
Other matches, there's a count out. So just give me some consistency is all I want. Consistency.
That's all. A little professionalism, guys. Let's we're on national TV here.
Let's step it up a bit, huh?
Yeah, but we end up with our main event of the night.
Speaking of John Moxley, John Moxley,
Oh God, Justin Roberts, eat a dick.
the dapper yapper.
We get Darby Allin and John Moxley versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks.
The thing that so here's where I start where I didn't mind this, and I liked it and I hated it all in the same sentence. It's like sweet and sour sauce. Is it sweet? Is it sour? Did I like it? Did I not? I didn't like the promo they started with Taz for one reason. Taz had been on commentating all night because Excalibur was not there for whatever reasons.
I didn't even notice. I knew Taz was there, but I never noticed Excalibur wasn't.
He's the third man, right? So they filled him in. Nonetheless, Taz was the third man tonight.
Taz murdered it.
Always. But he had been biased and had been a professional commentator all night. And then, within 9 seconds, the character Taz came out. Where you at, Mox? What's this, Mox? Look at Brian Cage, Mox. He's got traps the size of mountains, Mox. like
that's a good point. He flipped the switch to a manager immediately.
Yeah, like all of a sudden it's like, well, where's this guy been? I thought, again, consistency. You've had 2 hours at this point, right? They gave the main event about 7 minutes.
Right.
You've had 2 hours to have Taz could have been talking about Brian Cage. Enough of this. Quit talking about him. Let's talk about Brian Cage, Tony Schiavone. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back to him. Bring it back to Ricky Stark. They didn't. He was a biased, professional, great commentator for 1 hour and 50 minutes.
and I'm torn.
The character manager Taz came out, and it was over the top, screaming and yelling and super cheese and talking about Brian Cage. Because Darby Allin, where's your partner, Darby? Darby didn't show up, and blah, blah, blah. And it was a weird segment shot, too. They were shooting from backstage through the tunnel.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
So you could see out, and like all you could see in the tunnel, too, if you go back and watch it again, you can just see the gun club. You can just see Billy and his son, just like the way that the angle was. Like, it was a weird angle. That whole promo didn't make sense. Then all of a sudden, Brian Cage's music kicks on.
Yeah, that caught me off guard.
In the middle of them talking. So then they're like, they looked as surprised as I was. They looked as confused and surprised as I was watching it.
That sound guy, man, he's just all over the place.
Yeah, fucking Matt Hardy must have texted him and said, play Brian Cage's music. We got to go home.
He's on fucking speed dial.
It almost felt like they were running out of time.
Right.
They panicked and were like, we got to get these fucking morons out in the ring. We got about 6 minutes of national TV left here. Let's get this going before it's on YouTube dark. So they come out and they get jumped by Darby Allin, who's plotted on top of the tunnel set.
Perched like a parakeet above the tunnels there, and just...
This match was cool because it was Texas Tornado rules. Well stated.
Everybody. Yeah, it was. They let you know right off the bat. Get ready for a circus.
Hey, but if you know, now it makes sense. And then when we could bring it home to a traditional wrestling match, it'll make sense again, right? So this was a Texas Tornado rules match. All 4 men beat the hell out of each other. First one with a pin wins.
Just right off the bat, nothing really stuck out for me. It was just same old, same old. Everything's going as expected. Darby Allin is just flying every chance he gets. John Moxley finds a trash can at the very first opportunity to use it.
The cleanest trash can, too.
The cleanest of the clean trash cans he could find. You don't want to give anybody a nasty infection there.
No.
But just one thing that's going on, and this is my bias too, because I just keep coming across videos on the internet. I personally can't take Brian Cage seriously anymore. It's a wrap on Brian Cage for me. The tapping when he tapped out, or I'm sorry, he didn't tap out. When
towel.
Taz threw in the towel a couple weeks ago, that was the beginning of it. It's like, all right, we're booking this guy to look weak. But I came across a video, Brian Rappa.
Oh no.
I came across a video from Impact Wrestling. And do you
Oh, boy.
know who beat Brian Cage clean in an Impact Wrestling match, Brian?
I do not.
Tessa fucking Blanchard.
Well, I mean, she was the heavyweight champion, Eric. She was the guy.
This is before she had the belt. This was a number one contender match. But she didn't beat him dirty. She didn't cheat. She beat him with a couple fucking hurricanranas or something and a reversal.
Well, can we take a guess of why he didn't re-sign that contract?
My God, thank God he didn't. And kudos for him, I guess, to fulfilling his contract and doing the job. I personally couldn't have did it. Tessa Blanchard's a fucking maybe 150 pounds soaking wet. Brian Cage is a fucking, he's like 6 foot, 265 of just
Something just
solid
solid.
muscle.
Just jacked to the gills.
Solid muscle. And Tessa Blanchard beat him clean. How can you take him seriously against anybody besides Marco Stunt? Shit, he should be wrestling Marco or Darby Allin every week now if Tessa's going to beat him clean.
Yeah, they, I got nothing to say to that. I didn't see it, but that's
My
miserable.
God.
Brian Cage, I haven't been impressed with him since Double or Nothing, and he got buried under the poker chips. We made fun of him there. I haven't been impressed with him. I think his entrance music sucks. Who can stand the path of Cage or whatever it is? It's like, it sounds like it was recorded on an iPhone in about 7 seconds, and then they gave it to Bob, the sound guy, and said, play this. Like, it's rough. It's just bad. I hate that. His look, he has no charisma. He has no personality. He's jacked to the gills. He's a monster. Taz is doing his damnedest.
And
But
it's
Taz
just a
needs to
good
know-
metaphor. It's a good metaphor you use from Double or Nothing. They buried him there, and they've been burying him every week ever since.
Taz needs to figure out if he's going to be the commentator or if he's going to the character or if he's going to be, what he's going to be. So that gets confusing.
I'm torn on that too because Taz can do both phenomenally. He can be a great professional commentator and he can be a fantastic heel manager, but you can't have both in one show. That shows exactly what you pointed out earlier. He's got to choose. It's got to be one or the other.
Yeah, it gets very confusing. But the cool spot of the night was, and it looks super painful for me. I mean, this was a Gaga match. Go back and watch it. We can talk about a bunch of it, but they beat the hell out of each other. Darby Allin digs out his skateboard from underneath the ring.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
We'll
you got
get
a spot?
to that. We got
all right.
Oh, we just got to go. We can save that to the end because that was the finale of the match. Darby Allin does a cool skateboard thing, and we will get to that just 1 second.
Okay.
But one thing I picked out, maybe not a ton of people catch it, but Jon Moxley is such a hardcore badass, right? Can we agree that that's his
that's the
gimmick?
character.
That's his character. That's his gimmick. And he does not hesitate one iota to throw a fucking steel chair at Ricky Starks' face. He chucked that fucking chair at Ricky Starks' face. And it's no DQ, obviously, but he can't punch Brian Cage. Did you see them weak-ass forearms he's throwing? It looked like Alexa Bliss was in there throwing forearms
I'll have to go back and rewatch
at
that more.
Brian Cage.
Didn't catch
And-
up on the real dirtiness of it.
Maybe he didn't want to hurt him. He thought Tessa was going to come fuck him up. But he chucks, literally seconds after he chucks a steel chair at Ricky Starks' face, he's throwing some womanly ginger forearms at Brian Cage. And I was just like, all right, Mox, you can't be hardcore and then follow the rules and not throw a closed hand right after you just tried to bust that motherfucker's face with a steel chair. But Ricky Starks, hands down, was the best thing in this match. He reminds me of Sammy Guevara a ton. The
He's
build,
young.
the moveset. He's very young.
He's a
love to
good-looking guy. Like I ain't that, but you just can say it, right? He's it. He's money. put
He
in the right
looks like
spot.
John Starks from the old New York Knicks, and I looked it up. It's not his dad, but who knows? Maybe
Tony
somewhere
Stark,
in the family tree. Yeah, maybe
related
he's
to
related to Tony Stark, but
Iron
I'll
Man.
see him and Sammy Guevara form a tag team sometime down the line. But please, that's all I got to say about this match. Please get into that skateboard spot.
I thought the skateboard spot was that brought it home. It was a cherry on top. They bring out he digs under the ring. He pulls out his skateboard, which I thought was cool because it was like I was like, oh my god, here we go. I instantly thought another perfectly clean steel garbage can. I thought it was gonna maybe a table where we store our tables. We keep our extra kendo sticks under the ring. I don't know where they keep the other ones, but that's where they keep the extra, the overflow. But he pulled out a skateboard, which is his gimmick, his thing. Darby Allin's there.
No
And
wheels on the skateboard.
He holds it up, and there's no wheels. Now, thank God, because the camera shot wasn't the cleanest. No fault of anybody's. It just didn't play great on TV, I thought.
Right,
But,
I caught that too.
The camera or the announcers did their job as they're supposed to for TV. And what is there? Spikes in that? And then you kind of get another shot, and you're like, oh, okay, it was tacks. He had applied tacks to the bottom of those bright silver tacks. Those wrestling, the only place you can find silver tacks like that's in a wrestling ring. Head to Office Depot, you ain't finding none. So he has those all on the bottom of his skateboard. Sets up a spot with Ricky Stark, and then just drops in and lands flat on his back off the top rope.
And I don't think that went precisely as planned because he skidded off his back.
Yeah,
he skidded.
He slid down. It looked rough. It looked like it hurt. Ricky got pinned. Darby got the pin over top of him like instantly. He's kicking and screaming. I don't think he's selling it. I think it just fucking hurt.
He got a fucking 2 feet full of spikes, or I'm sorry, thumbtacks jammed into his back and then dragged through his back. He was bleeding like a stuck pig.
It was not good. And it was cool. It looked great on TV.
Oh, it looked fantastic. And
I feel sorry for Ricky Starks that had to go through with that. That didn't look good. That's like you said, it might not have went 100% as planned because he was bleeding pretty good. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. Pretty cool ending, and they got the match, and then they're staring down, and Darby kind of looks like he's challenging. They leave whatever Brian Cage and Taz, and they get out of Dodge, and Ricky Stark and blah blah blah. But then Mox and Darby are staring each other down in the ring, and he's kind of looking like he's challenging him. And then dramatically in the earpiece of Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross, this just in from President Tony Khan, we're going to have Darby Allin take on Jon Moxley next week. They don't even know it yet.
Right. They don't even know. They're just
I don't know why they did that.
In the back.
Why they said that part was kind of silly. They could have just easily have said, we'll see what these two do next week. We got to go. We're out of time. Is Darby challenging him? Is he was on Moxley's side? Is he challenging for the title? And they were selling it, as they're supposed to. Like he's pointing at the title. Mox is pointing at his title, holding it up and looking at Darby, and he's shaking his head. Yes, we got the point. You didn't need to cram it down my throat of what's happening. I saw it.
They seem to do that a lot, though. Just soon as a match ends, it's all of a sudden announced that 2 people in that match or 2 people plus a couple more from the back are immediately signed for a match next week. It's just I'm kind of rolling with it at that point that Tony Khan's just going to book matches on the fly.
I get that they're trying to work with time. Time is of the essence these days. It's not 1997 anymore where nobody's going to talk about it till the following week, so they got to jump on these things. They've got your attention right here, right now, and to get it again is hard, right? It's hard and it's expensive. So they've got your attention now, so they're saying it to make you tune into the match again, so that way when they tease it all week over their social media, etc., that you are aware that it's going to happen again and you're already aware of it. So I get it, but it was just rah, a little right at you. They could subtly do it, I think, but that's me. What do I know?
And I don't know. I'm starting to notice, especially with these two in the ring together. I think Darby Allin and Jon Moxley are pretty much the same wrestler. Moxley's heavier, so
Right.
he can't do as much of the flying, and Darby Allin's a twerp, so he can't do any of the strong spots. But I think overall, they're the same fucking guy. So
Same guy. One's not needed.
right.
So I don't know what it'll be. If they make it a no rules match, it could be entertaining, I think, but I don't know.
Well, that's going to take us back to what was that? The Scottish fucking brogue kicker. No, not.
Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, Drew McIntyre and who's that fucker he faced in the no rules?
Oh, it was Dolph.
Yeah. It's going to take us back to the same thing. It's going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre, but on AEW, it'll be Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley.
Oh, don't worry. Raw was so shitty this week, they redid that match on Raw.
Wow.
Not the
I'm
match over
speechless.
rules. They just put those two morons in a no holds barred, no rules match.
Oh, I thought they replayed it.
Oh, no. They just had a part 2 already.
Oh, okay.
Like, go fuck yourself. Sorry.
I'm interested to see the demo on that. Who was tuning in for that shit?
Not me. Yeah, so that wraps up NXT. That wraps up AEW. NXT had some cool stuff going on. And there's only so much time in the day, and you know, AEW is always the talk of the internet, so it gives us a lot of stuff to get on here and yap about. But NXT's got some cool stuff going on, so go back and check those out because they're doing this tournament for the North American Championship match, which will take place at the TakeOver SummerSlam weekend, and they're having their qualifying matches for that. So they've got a couple of the guys, Dexter Lumis, Timothy Thatcher, Finn Balor were in a match for a qualifier. Johnny Gargano, Roderick Strong. They were in a qualifier, a 3-way qualifier the week before. And I forget the other guy's name off the top of my head. But anyways, he was from the UK NXT. So some cool stuff going on over there with the NXT North American Championship tournament that they have going on. And if I remember correctly, it is going to be a ladder match. So they're working their way down to have 4 or 5 guys in this ladder match for TakeOver for the North American Championship that was vacated by Keith Lee 2 weeks after he won it.
Oh yeah, so they're hustling over there. NXT's putting on a better show than the official 2 big dogs in the WWE, SmackDown or Raw.
I haven't even tuned into SmackDown in a while. I put on Raw on Mondays because I'm usually hanging around the house and the Monday evenings, and I just have it on and paying loose attention to it and read about it on the internet. Keep me interested and I'll watch it, but they ain't doing a good job of that. So that about wraps up that. Did we want to dive into real quick that Adam Cole moment?
Yeah. The talk of the wrestling internet community this week was Adam Cole on what's that fella's name?
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, the former football player there.
Right. He was a punter for somebody in the NFL. I don't know which team. As stated earlier, I am not a football fan. So this is a 90-second clip. This is from the Pat McAfee show. Go ahead and play this real quick. Go on, listen to it again.
Yeah, let's listen to it so the people can get an idea of what we're talking about.
The longest reigning NXT champ of all time, Adam Cole.
Baby.
There is a lot of buzz about you. You have all these accolades. First ever North American champion.
First ever double champion in NXT history.
That has to feel pretty cool.
It's a cool thing. Just because I look at our roster and to think that I'm the king of that brand is pretty cool. Whoa. So you have an argument to that?
The Undisputed Era is the main reason why you've succeeded. But by the way, smart, especially for you, because you're kind of small.
Oh, we're going to go with the size thing now.
Oh. Seriously, I'm sick of your I come the whole way here, take time away from my family to come to do your stupid show. You're going to continue to disrespect me. Don't touch me.
Whoa!
All right.
What's wrong with that guy?
We'll bring it down here. After this, Pat McAfee just rambles on and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, Adam Cole's on the Pat McAfee show. He has done some, pause that. He has done some pre-shows for NXT. He's an internet guy. He does his big talk show there on YouTube, a la Joe Rogan. And he's a wrestling fan. He got drunk one night, bought a wrestling ring, had some guy come over and train him, and learned how to wrestle in his house. And he hosts a TV show, and he's a wrestling fan. And so the big question, though, is work or shoot. Adam Cole screaming at Pat McAfee. Instantly, knee-jerk reaction. I wanted to say shoot because he was cursing. Those bleeps were not in the live video. It was Adam Cole cursing. It was fuck you, Pat. I came down here, fuck you, giving him the finger. None of it was censored. This was a clip, so it was a censored version. I thought it was just, I was like, that totally to me went shoot, that he flew off the handle like that, because WWE is such the family-oriented stuff, right? That PG, damn near G.
Right. And that, to some people, it was clearly a work, but there are fans out there like ourselves who are still dying to be fooled, if you will.
Right.
We want to lose ourselves in the thing and in the business. So when we see something like this and it's a chance where it's not obviously fake, it's not obviously set up, we want to bite. It's in our head that we want to bite and fall for it and call it a shoot. But this was a work between these two guys. We don't know if it was just between Pat McAfee and Adam Cole, or, if WWE had anything to do with it. We don't know. Not at right now. At least I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know any of the details of that. Adam Cole did release a tweet. It said in an apology tweet, I won't read the whole thing because it's a kind of a long little paragraph. He had to have used all his characters on Twitter there. It says, I've had the weekend to think about everything, and it's still hard for me to put into words where to begin. First of all, to anyone that I offended, I apologize. I apologize because I represented a brand that commands respect. So he goes on, even though he continued to push my buttons, I still should have kept my composure and acted like a professional. I'm embarrassed at my reactions, and I will make sure something like that never happens again. Thanks for the continued support, everyone. So paraphrase there, quick some of what he was saying there on Twitter. So if they were working this thing, they kind of had it put together pretty well, because even the following day, one of the following days there, they had Triple H come on, and I believe that clip follows up a little bit here, so we'll just hit play and get back into this.
I'm saying I overreacted and I'm sorry.
Oh.
Let's figure out a time for he and I to talk. This does seem like a miscommunication.
So, anyways, I thought there was more to that clip there with Triple H. But anyways, Triple H pops on to the Pat McAfee show. He calls in via Skype, and he keeps things either it wasn't, I don't know. We're going to listen to something else here in a moment, but he plays it more. He keeps it playing that it was a shoot.
And that's the best way to play it.
And he kept saying they asked if he was fined for his actions. Pat asked Triple H, was he fined for his actions? And he said, that's something between me and him. That's our business, on how we handle this as a company. And he kept using very, very technical terms like that. But,
something like that screams work to me, though. Like, why is Pat McAfee, was he so offended that he needed to know WWE fined him? No. In real life, Pat McAfee,
remember, though, he comes from football. So when Pat got in trouble, so he tells a story that he got in trouble in the NFL for tweeting some stuff, and his coach, who was going through chemo in the offseason, called him from the hospital and says, you can't do that. He uses this voice, like, you can't be tweeting this stuff. That's not our team. And he got in trouble for being that guy in a professional setting, and he got in trouble and fined for tweets that he put out. So he's asking Triple H if he's getting fined and getting in trouble, trying to legitimize it into being that pro sport.
Yeah, but it's different worlds, though. So he's talking from a standpoint of a professional sport, a legitimate sport, where the main thing going on is straight up competition.
Not story.
And it's, yeah, he's comparing it to something that the main entertainment aspect is fake stories. And he's all of a sudden, oh, he needs to be fined for his actions and blah, blah, blah. That just screams work to me.
Oh, now after watching it about 10 times and seeing this unfold where he puts that, so he reacts, he puts out the tweet, Triple H is on there. Like, I think all of it, good though. I'm happy. So let's listen to what Jim Cornette, I got about a little minute clip here of what Cornette has to say.
So yeah, it's Jim Cornette and Brian Last. I did listen to this full podcast, so my opinion may have been a bit inspired by these guys, but you get to hear the original. Here's about 60 seconds of it right here.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee was a football player, obviously. I found out that much from watching the clip. No, I'm not a big football fan, so I've not seen Pat McAfee, but I think he's friends with Rip Rogers.
That's the guy that trained him.
It seems like Rip knows one of those football guys that's been on the periphery of wrestling here the past few years. It may be him, but anyway, I liked it. I think that a lot of people are like, oh, is this real? Because they don't even see anything this convincing or anybody trying this hard, anymore. Obviously, I hate to beat around the bush and expose their business that it was a work. Are people still believing it? Am I telling them anything they don't really know? Or
I was actually shocked how many people wrote to us asking if it was a work, because I thought it was pretty obvious what it was.
Well, and once again, I don't want to, take the piss out of what they did and expose their business if people are buying it. But they did a great job. Adam Cole's well-spoken. This Pat McAfee, he reminds me of like Mongo McMichael had a fucking talk show from just getting the gist.
So there you go. Little quick snippet there. Jim Cornette on Adam's Cole appearance on the Pat McAfee show. You can check that out on his official Jim Cornette YouTube channel. So little plug there. Help him make sure that he don't get mad at us so we can I don't need Corny mad at us. Go check out his YouTube channel. Just a little snippet there. So Corny breaking it down that he's 100% sold that it was we were being worked, which is fine because again, he sold it in a way that people want to be worked. We want to believe, and they did great. I thought that they should have kind of David Schultz this thing and Brian, or was it Stossel? Whatever, I forget his first name now. John Stossel. He should have hit him.
Oh, yeah. That would have been great.
He's a trained wrestler. He trained with Rip Rogers. He got drunk and bought a wrestling ring and had Rip Rogers come train him for a couple weeks. Like, he knows how to take a working punch. He's a professional football player. He was a punter, but he's a professional football player.
Yeah, but if it looked like a working punch, that would have just let the cat out of the bag immediately.
I say working punch, I mean like 60%. He could have been a lot of gaga. He could have took the hit and flew backwards and kicked the thing. And by the time you realize that he fell backwards and kicked the desk, you don't remember how bad the punch was. Just a good enough angle. It's a YouTube show, for the love of Pete. So I thought they could have done that to sell it even more, but I was entertained by it. I loved it. Blew up the internet and got my antennas up, wondering if it was real or not. The cursing is what put it over, but knowing Triple H is in charge of that NXT brand, he's willing to, he's the DX Attitude Era king, right?
DX did a little some controversial things back in the day.
So a little swearing never hurt anybody. And we but I thought it was good. It created some buzz on the internet, and that they got their little mini John Stossel moment.
Right. Other than that, that's all I got for this week. Was there anything else?
No, that was it. So let us know what you think. Work or shoot. We're going with we are being worked, but we enjoyed it, and we don't mind being worked in this way. So.
No, it's something you can lose yourself in. It's something you can believe for a half a minute there. It's not flippy playtime trampoline horse shit.
There you go.
Something that actually makes you cock your head and go, wait a minute.
Was this real?
Right.
Was this real? What's happening?
Still real to me, damn it.
Is this forever? All right, so make sure you guys head on over to social media, Facebook, the Kayfabe Smark. Like us over there. Join the Facebook group. Let's talk about wrestling. Hop over on Instagram, like our pages, like our pictures over there. Get involved in the comments and the conversation happen there. Subscribe on YouTube. Recommend it to a friend. Rate and review us on iTunes or Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. Hop on over to anchor.fm/the Kayfabe Smark. Leave us a voicemail, question, comment, concern, joke, derogatory comments at Eric. All those fun things you want to get on there and talk about. Don't be mean to me. And then subscribe, like, share, all that fun stuff that you do on the social medias. And that's that. What do you got, Eric?
As always, you can catch me on Instagram at it's Eric. That is all one word. And you can catch me on TikTok. It's just me and my dog Stella, who you heard a little cameo from earlier. Stella and I are on TikTok doing stupid videos, and that would be stella.hates.eric. And after we get out of here, I got to go out front and see what's going on. Maybe about 15 minutes ago, you might have heard some yelling from my neighbors, 6 or 7 very loud pops, and my dog went ape shit for a minute. So I need to go out there and see if that was fireworks or gunshots. And I kind of wanted to hit the deck there for a minute, but I figured, hell, if I was going to take a bullet to the dome, it might as well be a fucking recorded podcast, right?
Do it on the internet. Make sure you hop
That's
on.
all shoot, by the way. That's not a work. All that shit really happened.
Make sure you go over to audibletrial.com/the Kayfabe Smark. Grab yourself a 30-day trial at Audible. Get yourself an audiobook, lots of wrestling content, and you get a free book. We get a little cheddar in the pocket back. Helps us support the show and keep doing this thing. And that's it, man. Join us on the social media.
And if I take a bullet to the head on a fucking podcast, you motherfuckers better go get your free book.
That's
that
all
way my funeral can be paid for.
Until then, we will catch you guys next week watching some wrestling.
Hootie hoo, we out the gates.
Hootie hoo.
One more for the good guy. This is such good shit. Let me speak on this.
The Kayfabe Smark Podcast.